Okay, thank you. All right. Now that we've kind of waited a little bit, I see a few of you have joined us. Thank you so much for coming to the session. Our session today is called Accepted, What's Next for Students Beyond Canada. And my name is Sandra, and I'm a recruitment specialist with the international team here at the University of Calgary. We are really excited to welcome you today. For us, it's morning. For you, it might be a different time zone. But again, thank you for taking the time. We're really excited to welcome you as future dinos to the university. I am joined today with my colleague Labib. He will be helping me with the Q&A in the chat. So if you do have any questions as I'm presenting, please feel free to type them specifically in the Q&A section, not the chat section, and he'll do his best to answer. And then anything else that's left for the end, we will both be responding to your questions jointly. Now, as we do go through the presentation, today we are going to be talking about, you being accepted and the next stages into what you should expect and the steps that you should be taking to kind of completing that process, but also getting excited to joining us here on campus. But I also do want to, congratulate you for all the extra effort that you've taken. This is a really big accomplishment, and you should be super, super proud of yourself for, getting that offer. And now we're here to support you. And before I do get into that, I do want to kind of remind you of some of the exciting reasons that you've chosen Canada specifically, the province of Alberta, what the kind of benefits are for living here, as well as the city of Calgary, and then of course the university. I'm sure some of this might be a little bit of a review because I'm sure you've done a lot of research, but this is kind of a time to kind of sit back and enjoy kind of the benefits that you're going to be kind of getting once you're here at the university. I do want to point you towards our QR code here for our international view book. This is going to be kind of your entry guide to seeing all of the different, opportunities that you have on campus, different programs that you can take part in. If you are seeing this on your phone, you can definitely still search it. If you want to just go into Google International View Book, University of Calgary, you can find that easily as well, but you can scan it and kind of follow along if you like. We have some great student stories in there. Here you're seeing a page of our kind of student Louise, who's starting a business. But yeah, we have great resources that you can take note of as well. Now, of course, our location, we are located in the city of Calgary, which is in the province of Alberta. So you're seeing that highlighted there in orange. We are not as far as you think, but we are, a flight away from other major cities that you might already know of in Canada. To Vancouver, for example, we're about an hour, 45 minutes by flight. If you're going to Toronto, it is going to be about a 4-hour flight. And then Montreal and Halifax are a little bit further as well. What is great is we have an international airport in the Calgary city that is about a 25-30 minute drive away from campus. So it's pretty accessible. Once you're, arriving, grab your Uber from the arrivals terminal, and then you're able to kind of get to campus pretty well. For anybody joining us from the US, these are some major, ports that you might be flying from. Seattle is closest to Vancouver, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles. Again, we do have the international airport that you can access those routes as well. So when you are coming to Canada, we do like to say that you won't be sorry coming to Canada. Now, a Canadian stereotype that you might have heard of is that we are very polite people, and we do like to say sorry a lot. Let's say you bump into somebody on accident, you're going to hear them say sorry. And then coming to Canada, you are going to hear that difference in the accent of how we pronounce the word sorry. You'll hear me say sorry instead of like the US pronunciation, which is sorry. So you can kind of identify Canadians just by the frequency of sorries, but also the way we say it. And we do like to emphasize that choosing Canada as your future destination, you won't be sorry that you did. There are some really great benefits for actually, coming to Canada when you are studying here. We are a great country for the quality of life. So, in terms of kind of US News World Rankings, out of 85 countries across North America, Europe, Asia, Canada was ranked third for quality of life and fourth for the best countries for education. So, you're coming to a great place to live, but also a great place where your education will kind of spur your future globally as well as domestically. We are also considered the most entrepreneurial young kind of societies in terms of the G7 nations. So we have a lot of young entrepreneurs who are kind of building and starting businesses here in Canada. We are a safe country. So when you're considering that general safety in the city of Calgary, our university is separate from the downtown core. So you're really getting that kind of safe environment, but we're really well connected to as well the city center through the train system. We have campus security that's active and always kind of looking out for our students. And then, of course, when it comes to staying long term, a great benefit of studying in Canada is that once you've completed your post-secondary education, for many of you, that'll be a bachelor's program, you are able to apply for what's called a postgraduate work permit. We call it PGWP for short, where international students can apply to stay for up to 3 years in Canada and work full-time on an open work permit. And that really kind of allows students that opportunity to build their careers as well as their long-term kind of opportunities here in Canada. While you are a student, there is an additional benefit. You are going to be able to work part-time when you're a full-time student during the semester. Currently, that's up to 24 hours a week. And then you are able to also work full-time during the summer. There are some rules around your status as a student, like being full-time, etc. So we do have a International Student Services office who are here to help you understand the rules around being a student, those work opportunities while you're studying, and then again, once you graduate, how to apply for those additional opportunities to stay and work. Alberta, more specifically, we are a very beautiful province. One of the advantages of being in our province and being in our location in Calgary is we have these beautiful natural sceneries really close. It's kind of in our backyard, maybe an hour and 15-minute drive away. You're going to be able to overlook this kind of beautiful lake here, famous national parks where you can go hiking, do water sports, mountain biking, camping, and just kind of taking in charming little towns. A lot of our students like to take advantage of that. And if you are someone who hasn't engaged with outdoor activities but wants to start, we do have options for you to rent equipment on campus to help you kind of engage with these as well through our gear shop. So if you are wanting to camp, you don't have a tent, for example, you can go and rent that at a really discounted rate rather than buying your own equipment. And then if you want to engage actively with winter sports, we have great ski resorts. You're able to kind of go and explore skiing, and as well as if you want to learn how to snowboard, maybe you're an avid snowboarder and want to kind of take part in that, we have 6 major ski resorts. And then another big benefit of Alberta is our taxes. We have no provincial sales tax. So when you are buying goods and services on a day-to-day basis, let's say you're buying clothes, food, etc., you're going to be paying federal tax. It's called the GST, the government sales tax. Now that GST, everyone in Canada does pay that. It's 5%. In Alberta, we don't pay an additional tax, which is called a provincial sales tax, where other provinces like British Columbia, where Vancouver is located, or Ontario, where Toronto is located, they're paying more taxes on that same item that you're purchasing here in Alberta for cheaper. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're buying a $100 jacket for that winter that's coming up soon. You're going to be paying 5%. So that's going to be, let's say, $105 that you're paying in Alberta. That same comparative jacket in Toronto, you'll be paying $13. So that's more than double that. $5 in Alberta. So in Alberta, you're paying 105, and Toronto, you're paying 113. And that gets more incremental when it comes to big ticket items, like let's say a laptop or something. So we do see other people coming from those provinces going shopping in Alberta because of that benefit to that day-to-day expense that you're going to be considering. Now our city, we are Calgary is known as the Blue Sky City. Being in the southern part of Alberta, it does mean that we are the most sunniest, the major city in Canada with 333 days of sunshine a year. Of course, you can expect all four seasons. Like, for example, right now it's the winter, but we are really blessed with that sunny day to day disposition. And you might be surprised to know that it's actually sunnier on average than Los Angeles, with their average sunshine being at like 263. So your general mood and like feel of the place does improve with that exposure to the sun. We are also considered really diverse. We have a city of 1.6 million people, and we have over 165 languages and 240 different ethnic origins of groups located in Calgary. So you're going to be able to meet a lot of people with different backgrounds, but also likely to meet people from your own community that you can keep engaged with as well. And then Calgary is also quickly becoming known as what's called our like startup capital. So if you're considering starting your own enterprise or kind of social community-based foundation, it's a great place to do that, and it is rapidly expanding, and a lot of skilled work is the source of in Calgary. So great place for opportunities for work as well while you're a student and afterwards. I like to show this photo here because it kind of gives you a bit of the feel of the city. This is the downtown core. There's some really great, cool neighborhoods located in and around Calgary. I'm blessed that I stay downtown, so I find it very walkable and transit friendly. If you're wanting to take the bus or the train, when you are a student, you do get what's called a U-Pass, which is your student bus pass that you can access the transit around the city. And then we have great options for like students who want to go and like float in the river. So this is often students think this is kayaking here on the bottom right corner. It's actually something called floating, where you get in a raft with your friends. Maybe you bring a cooler with some food, some music, and you get to have a nice sunny day floating down the river. I find it's a really great way to kind of relax on that nice sunny day. We also have great opportunities for you to like visit the library. On the other side of this Peace Bridge here, we have the Prince Island Park, and they have different festivals in the summer. Myself, I really like comedy, so I've gone to what's called the Big Outdoor Comedy Festival, which is really fun. If you are a comedy enthusiast, we get stand-up comics coming from across Canada, but also the US, and it's a really great time. In the summer, we also have Stampede, which is the biggest rodeo expo in the world. So, carnival, of course, but we have concerts, really cool artists coming through, and over 1 million visitors just coming for that kind of 10-day extravaganza where you can really enjoy what makes Alberta special. Now, focusing a little bit more on the university. This is a kind of bird's eye view of the campus, and you can see it's kind of like a big park. We are considered Canada's most entrepreneurial university, and we are kind of spurring that with our startups that we're seeing coming out of our school. In the last 5 years, 90 startups can have come out of the University of Calgary, which is more than any other university in Canada. So if you do have that entrepreneurial spirit, we have a lot of opportunities for you to get engaged with that and start to build up your ideas on campus. And as well, we have a great undergraduate retention rate. That is 95% of our students are choosing to move from year 1 to year 2 and onward for their program. And we do like to note that because that means our students are happy. They're really engaged and they're thriving here. So I'm really excited that you get to kind of be part of this community that is really excited to be on campus and doing a lot of great things. I show you the snap here. It's a kind of a picture form of what campus looks like. And you'll notice on the top right corner is the LRT station, light rail train. That's what that stands for, where it is connected to the downtown, but also other parts of the city. It's really convenient, especially if you're deciding to commute if you move off campus and you want to commute to campus, there's a train station just there and you can walk to the buildings on campus. As well, we have a great opportunity for you to stay in residence. So if you do want to apply to residence, applications are open now. They opened on November 1st, and you are able to apply By May 1st, you are guaranteed a spot in first year residence as a student coming from high school. So don't miss that deadline if you do want the opportunity to stay on campus and kind of, build that first friend group or just have that conveniency of living really close to all of your classes. One other building I really want to kind of focus you on is called the McEwen Student Center. It's that big center building just in the middle there. We call it Mac Hall, or the students call it Mac Hall for short. And it's kind of your social hub, the center of campus, where you can get a lot of your services, meet and hang out with your friends, go for lunch. And it has different services, for example, the International Student Services, which is that team who is going to help you with your study permit application, visas, that postgraduate work permit information, etc. That team is located there. We also have our Center for Career and Personal Development. So that's going to be the team that's trying to guide you with work integrated learning opportunities, like work experiences while you're a student, that toolkit that you want to build up to start building your resume and kind of engaging with the professional networks here so that when you graduate, you're really set up well. As well, we have different services in terms of like counseling services, if you need any mental health supports or guidance around, stress and managing your stress, you want to speak to someone, we have great teams there. We have wellness services as well. So this is going to be around kind of your medical concerns. So if you want to go to the campus vision center, we have an eye doctor there. And then on top of that, I mentioned great options for food court, snacks, convenience stores. There's even a prescribing pharmacy there as well. So it's a really great place that you can kind of, your local hub. And just off campus, we have the University District, which is a great opportunity for you to, if you don't want to go all the way downtown, go to the movies, for example. We have a movie theater just off campus, great places for shopping, eating, other opportunities if you want to live off campus but not too far as well. There's great options for that. Now, that entrepreneurial mindset, I do want to circle back to that as well. We have this think like an entrepreneur through our Hunter Hub for Entrepreneurial Thinking. It is what we would consider our business incubator, where we have a lot of programs where we try to support students who want to engage with that start something mentality. Start something is really kind of our slogan here, where we are challenging students to go outside of their comfort zone and really try to build out, even if it's, starting a club or starting, a company, we have those supports. Now, some of the programs we have available is something called Launchpad. Launchpad is a 6-month program. Is co-curricular, so it means that it takes, it's like a program that's outside of your class, but it does incorporate class-based ideas that you can apply, but it's specifically for students who want to build that next tech venture or gain that entrepreneurial skills by joining a team. And it does kind of culminate to a final launch pitch competition. Think of it as like a Shark Tank or a Dragon's Den, where you have the opportunity of receiving seed funding towards your business. You'll see here a student photo with a company called Munitora. This student group recently won $50,000 to launch their minimal viable tech product, which we're really excited to see. And then, of course, we have the business playbook, which is an 8-week co-curricular program where students, as well as faculty, staff, undergrad, grad, are able to engage in different workshops, mentorship opportunities, practical skills to learn how to kind of launch that first business as well. And then we have embedded certificates, classes that you can add to your degree that would really help you kind of build that entrepreneurship mindset, but you're getting that certificate as well on your degree. We have some students that we do kind of showcase that have done really amazing things. And all of them are really trying to engage with that work, start something mentality. On the left here, we have Madison, and she's a health sciences student. She was able to start her own hoodie company. It's called Hug and Spoons Co. And it was basically focused on her health condition that she has, but she wanted to help others who wanted to feel comfortable getting IVs in different hospital settings. So this hoodie is IV accessible, and it was launched recently, and we're really kind of amazed to see that she was able to sell out in that first launch. And we have other students across the board who are doing really kind of great things that are solving, societal issues or maybe something themselves more personally. And hopefully you can start something too here at University of Calgary. Now, some extracurriculars outside of the classroom is a great option for you to engage with. You can find those in what's called our experience catalog. So that's a way for you to discover the different kind of student life aspects and things happening outside of the classroom all in one place. And you're able to filter for your specific interests, and even some job postings are on there as well. So for example, co-op experiences. So please do take part. Go online, have a search through the experience catalog, and see what different aspects you can join in on campus outside of the classroom. We're really excited to say that we have over 400 student clubs here at the university. We have clubs that are specific to your interests, hopefully something that is specific to your interests with 400 plus, but we also like to encourage students to even start their own club. As I've mentioned, we try to do that through like our student union, where if you have a unique idea, you can actually make a proposal, and it helps, something that's helping to foster community and engagement. It's a great way to meet friends as well. And we have student clubs that are specific to, for example, you want to make friends who have different interests. Maybe you're really passionate about photography, or maybe you really like STEM, robotics. Some really great clubs, even for example, one that's competitive that they're building, they're trying to build the fastest solar electric vehicle, and they do go to international competitions to race with other students. And in the past, when we have won, we have beat MIT. So we were really kind of excited and impressed with our team. If you're coming from different backgrounds, for example, you might be able to join that specific association. So Latin American Student Association, Brazilian Student Association, Afro-Caribbean Club. Those clubs are great ways to network with other students, but you could be meeting your next employers, because they do different networking events with business community. You could be meeting your next coworkers, but also that's a building your resume opportunity, because you're seeing those leadership kind of things that you can add on your resume that is really important when you're looking for those first co-op or work integrated learning jobs as well. Now, when it comes to academic exploration, we do have a lot of experiences that you can take part in. I will kind of focus in on the research aspect. We have something called Pure Awards, which are awards that students can take part in, and you're able to get up to 7,500 to do your own undergraduate research. So that's in that first 4-year bachelor's. You no longer do you have to wait to get into the master's. You're able to engage with that research, make those connections with faculty and get that financial support. Most students are doing it in the summer months in general, but it is an option for you if you do want to get, that first option to get that research going. Now, when it comes to student services, we have a lot of student services available for you. When you are considered an international student, you need that student permit, that visa. That team that I mentioned before is called the International Student Services Team. You see that little dino in the corner there, that's there. Basically, they're helping you with immigration support. So if you are in the midst of applying for your student permit, you haven't submitted it yet, and you want that additional guidance, please reach out to that team. They're specifically regulated and really well known for giving great professional advice. If you are have accepted your offer and want to get that going, please reach out early. That processing time can be long, so it's really important to get that support and build that application up in the correct way. And then, of course, there's additional services that they provide there. And then we do have accessibility services through Student Accessibility Services. This is a team for students who need any additional support and they have like a medical condition or disability that is documented. There are steps that need to be taken ahead of time for you to actually get the access to accessibility services, and it needs to be done early, often before the semester begins. So again, if you need that additional guidance, please scan this QR code, learn a little bit more, and then of course our team is always here to help you with any additional questions that you have. We do have a great Varsity Athletics, our Dino team. So we are home of the Dinos. Our mascot's name is Rex, and you are a Dino now that you have been given an offer and accepted your offer, or you will be in the future if you are yet to do so. Now, these are some examples of our varsity sports teams. If you are someone who is interested in varsity, it's really important to get in touch with the coaches very early. There is an application you will want to fill out online. But if you're just someone who likes to engage in that varsity kind of experience watching the teams, there's a lot of different options for you in terms of when you can watch. But typically, it's the games or the matches happen after kickoff, which is after orientation week. So you can start engaging with that pretty early on as well. Now, when you do come to the university, as part of your student tuition, you will be paying a recreation fee, and you get access to all of these different recreation facilities for the year. So examples are our racket centers, or swimming pools. Here they're learning how to kayak before they go out into the wilderness to do it. We have Olympic Oval, which is our ice rink here on campus. We consider it the fastest ice in the world. And then we have our options for, climbing wall, etc. So please take part in these ways. You can also meet a lot of friends in the gym. It's a great way to stay engaged and active. I mentioned kind of building your resume as you go throughout your program. That is through our work integrated learning. Now, the office that helps you with that is a Center for Career and Personal Development. They help students getting, for example, co-op work experiences, which tend to be shorter term placements with different employers related to your field. Now, those are paid opportunities. The type of co-op you get depends on your program, and it is something that is not assigned to you, but you do have to apply and engage with actively. But there are supports there to help you through that process. For example, resume writing, interview skill building, and then have lists of jobs that you can apply for. We have internships available as well. Internships are longer in terms, so they tend to be at least a year with a single employer. And then we have practicums as well as research, clinical, and additional engagements that you can take part in. Now, what's interesting is that if you do have an unpaid opportunity that you're engaging with, we do have some financial support that you can apply for because you are not getting paid during that term. It's the Work Integrated Learning and Undergraduate Research Fund, and students can apply for up to 500 Canadian dollars a semester. You do need to apply for it, and it is a way to get that financial support for things, for example, like let's say you need a stethoscope, different gear for like hard hats, etc., for like your actual placement. And the goal is to really help you kind of filter out that additional cost for doing the work placement. And it's all through an application on our platform called Elevate. You will need to, for example, list the related expenses and submit an application by a certain deadline. So please do take note of that as well. Now, on-campus housing, I mentioned that if you apply by May 1st, you do have guaranteed spot in housing for first-year students. What's great about on-campus housing is that it's actually open now for applications. We do have a roommate matching process, and that usually happens in the months of May and June. So you are going to fill out a questionnaire and let us know like the kind of lifestyle that you have, and that will help inform us with the kind of roommate that we're going to match you with. Residence selection. You can select your own roommate. So if you do want to like list a preference, let's say you have a friend that you want to live with, you can list their name and they list your name as well. And then they do have that matching happening. Now, it is a detailed questionnaire that will ask you things like your habits, your sleep schedule, your cleanliness, you know, your anything that's kind of important to you. Be as specific as you can be. There is a mandatory food plan that does come along with first year residents, and there's a 5-day plan and a 7-day plan. You do have the option of different meals, all within that kind of dining hall, so you can get halal, vegetarian, gluten-free. And if you have allergies, please speak with the staff and they can try to accommodate those also. Now, this is something that I get really excited about because I did take part in a study abroad opportunity when I was a student. It was my favorite semester, something that I feel that I really helped me grow as an individual, but also something that hopefully you can take part in. Now, you would be able to do, for example, through global learning, like a 2-week program up to a full semester or a year. You could study abroad independently or even as a cohort or group format. And you're going to be earning course credits and gaining potential professional experience. And of course, you can travel to other countries. We have over 200 partner universities that you can engage with. And one really cool one that I want to mention is the semester at sea, where 2 students from the Haskayne School of Business have the opportunity to learn from faculty and international experts in like hands-on field work. Like on basically like a cruise ship semester at sea, and they can visit. Oh, and we have had projects where they visited over 100 countries in 110 days, or sorry, 11 countries in 100 to 110 days. So that's kind of cool if you're wanting to engage with that and you're a business student. That's a great option. Everything is on our website, of course, but you can visit the global learning platform there. Now, congratulations. You are accepted. You are in. Your offer for admissions has been made. What are the next steps that you can engage with? The first is going to be accepting your offer and paying a non-refundable tuition deposit. I will get into that a little bit more. And then attending U at UCalgary, which is on April 11th. U at UCalgary is an exclusive event hosted for incoming undergraduate class students. And it's your opportunity to discover your future campus and connect with other faculty. So they have, you know, guided tours, faculty seminars where you can see like a panel speaking. You can learn different resources on campus. So I had mentioned, you know, Mac Hall, for example, on the campus tour, you're going to be taken to all those different offices potentially. And then you can also learn about your first year journey as a dino and part of the university community. It's a really great way to start that first engagement. There is a pre-registration that will happen, and it is by April 10th, 2026. So please go online and do register for it. And then the third aspect for your steps will be to register for your courses in May as well, 2026. So do scan that QR code, but please, you can search it as well. And if you are interested about UCalgary and you have more questions, you can actually email our team at events, events, at ucalgary.ca. All right. Again, congratulations. We're really proud of you. We're really excited to welcome you here on campus. But for those of you who have a conditional offer of admission, there are conditions attached to that. So the main things to know that you need to continue to do so that you do get that final offer. First one is to maintain your competitive admissions average. So we do have competitive programs at University of Calgary, and the reason you got an offer is that we consider you a competitive student. Please do not just fall off and start kind of slacking. It's important to maintain that competitive edge so you can keep your offer for the program. Also, please do not drop any of the courses that we are using to consider you for that program. It's important that you do complete those courses. And we do need your documents to be submitted online, and as well as the official transcript to be sent to us by certain deadlines. So do make sure that you are keeping note of when those deadlines are. I'll have a slide near the end where you can kind of take a picture. It's all on our website. And then, of course, please graduate from your high school. And then what's important is that about maintaining your average is in May. in your student center, it is where, everything is kind of housed specifically for you. You are going to see a link, and it will show you your final average that you must maintain for your final grade. So you can circle back in May if you haven't gotten that, if you haven't completed those courses, to see what your goals are. Now, how do you accept your offer? You do need to pay that tuition deposit. You accept your offer by clicking the accept button in your student center. And if you've been admitted for your second choice, so when you did apply, you did put, your first and your second choice. If you've been admitted for your second choice and not your first choice, we will continue to consider you for your first choice, as long as there's space in that program at the time that you're providing us those final documents that we need for that kind of consideration. Now, if you have been considered for your first choice, and you've accepted it, we won't continue to consider you for the second choice. But again, if you have any questions around your choices, please send us an email and we can clarify that as well. Now, paying your deposit, it is a non-refundable admissions deposit towards your tuition for your first year. So it is going towards that. So it'll kind of be added to your account as if you paid a portion of it. And it is the typical timeline. So most students will have like a deadline shortly after their admissions offer. In the offer, it'll tell you when we need that deposit paid by. And then what happens after you accept your offer is you want to consider like residence applications and knowing about orientation, etc., as well as your study permit application. Oh, sorry, I didn't say how much it was. For a Canadian citizen or permanent resident, that deposit is $500. And for any student who's an international student, so that's going to be a student who needs a study permit, that is $5,000. And also with the $500, permanent resident and refugees are in that category as well. Now, with that study permit application, you are not applying to the university for that. You are applying to the Government of Canada through Immigration, Refugee, and Citizenship Canada. They're the ones who are authorized to provide you with that approval to come and study here. And it's what you do need to enter Canada as a student. It does take time, not only to write the application, but also to submit and wait for the processing. So it's very important that you reach out to the team very early after you have, accepted your offer. Now, after you accepted your offer and you paid your deposit, we will go and on your behalf apply for what's called a PAL, a provincial attestation letter, to the provincial government of Alberta. This additional document is needed in your study permit application, as well as your your accepted offer. So those two documents are very vital. It does take a little bit of time to get the PAL, but please do be cognizant that it's only after you pay your deposit that we will request that. And then when you do apply for your study permit, please apply before July 1st. It's a really important date that you want to be applying prior to. For some countries, that's still a little bit late. So please do it as soon as you can, as processing is variable per destination. Now, I did mention that International Student Services team is that team that will be supporting you for that application, but they also do other things that are really beneficial to you as a student here at UCalgary. For example, we have pre-arrival support. So that support that is even up to understanding, for example, Calgary specifically, UCalgary. So this is kind of your first session, and if you want to delve a little bit deeper, ISS does do that as well. If you have questions about housing, transportation, other essential questions, that team is really well versed and has specific people there to support you. We have a great opportunity for you to even get a mentor on campus. So once you are on campus and you want to be connected with that student who's gone through this before, somebody you can kind of be a confidant with, ask questions to, that first friend who is a senior student, you can apply for a mentorship program through ISS. And they do also have an international student orientation This is a really great way to meet other students that are coming, going through the same thing as you, and then do sessions with ISS to know the details about the rules as an international student, what to expect while you're here, different services, and then they have different fun activities at orientation, but also throughout. So stay in touch with ISS as a team. It's a really great way to get that first community on campus. Now, your next steps after accepting your offer, in March and April, we want you to shop for your classes. So you're going to preload your shopping cart. Now, this is through your student center. Basically, you want to preload them because once you get that registration date, it's a lot easier for you to go through and do it quickly. And there's a lot of different things that you can do prior to that to getting information on your classes. Now, you're also wanting to view high school registration website for first year degree guide. I'll go into a bit more detail about what the first year degree guide is, but we do have a guide that tells you these are the classes that you could be taking in your first year that are required for your program, for example, and that you can already know, okay, I just need to take these and I'm going to upload them to my shopping cart. And then, of course, attend you at UCalgary. Great opportunity for you to kind of get that additional engagement. In May, so March, April, now May, you'll receive a course enrollment date after you've accepted your offer and paid your deposit. So in May, you're going to be set, okay, this is the date that you can register and enroll in your classes, and you're going to want to keep that date in mind. June and July, you're going to, if you are a permanent resident of Canada or a citizen who's maybe living internationally, there are some government student loan opportunities that you might want to apply for. Our team can give you a bit more details on what that would look like, and there are some options for American students as well. Now, when it says apply for RESPs, that's considered the Registered Education Savings Plan. It's basically a savings plan that the Canadian government helps you to kind of plan your post-secondary education in a way for you to kind of grow your money tax-free. This is only open again to Canadians who are living abroad and coming here. That's the context that I'm speaking on for this. And then in August, you would register for orientation. And if you want to opt out of your health and dental plan for any reason, you would need to do it by then as well. But it is a great plan for students. If you don't have another one that you really need to utilize, I would recommend to maintain that health and dental plan. Now, academic planning and planning for your registration. One kind of quick tips that you want to consider is remember to register for all the available terms to receive your seats in your preferred courses. There are some entry-level courses that do fill up very quickly, and if you are not doing these steps, it can be a challenge to get those last seats in some of those classes that you might require to advance into other courses in your program. So do that kind of reserve seat process. And the way you can do that is you can also go into your student center and then validate your shopping cart. So that's when you get your enrollment date, you can go ahead and validate that shopping cart because otherwise you won't be able to enroll in your classes. And then please make note of your enrollment start time and the date and time that you can enroll in those courses. And if there's any time zone changes that you need to consider, also do that math beforehand so that you're not missing that important date and time. These are some really important QR codes. If you want to take a quick photo, I recommend because it's a really great way for you to start that process of understanding registration. Now, I'll start with the first year degree guide that I mentioned. Basically, the first year degree guide is a way that the faculty has kind of created a roadmap for you and recommended first year classes for your degree. So it includes required courses, elective courses. Electives are courses that you can specifically pick and choose based on the required faculty credit that you need, but also your specific interest. And then if there's specific course sequencing that needs to happen, so for example, let's say you need to take this entry-level bio class to get into this advanced bio class, you do need to make note of that because you won't be able to register in courses that you don't have prerequisites for. And so this kind of tool helps you with that roadmap. And it's also, you can use it It's available in the winter and it's updated yearly. So please don't use old versions. Make sure that you're using the one that is updated for your specific intake for next year. And then it's a great way it's ideally planning way ahead of time, getting those courses kind of considered, and then doing that validation process that I mentioned. Now, it is that first standard year pathway. There is a team that can help you understand this, and they're the new student registration assistant team, NSRA for short. They help with that step-by-step guidance. So if you need any kind of specific handholding, like don't feel shy. This is new for you, so like we don't expect you to understand how to do everything, so please, you can register through the support for the NRSA. Now they will help you navigate like your student center. They'll help you with understanding how to add classes, if there's errors, because sometimes you'll try to register or click it into a class and you'll receive an error code. They can try to explain like why that's happening or ways to get around that. Understanding different wait lists, how to validate your shopping cart, how to troubleshoot different common mistakes and roadblocks. And this is a resource that primarily is offered in late spring through summer. So you wouldn't necessarily be utilizing them yet, but please do note that they are there for that option if you need that additional support. And yeah, don't feel shy. Faculty advising is a great resource for you, and we highly recommend that you do engage with them throughout your degree program. On a yearly basis, it's a really great team that is specific to your program and your faculty. They will be guiding you with, recommending courses, understanding your sequence, your degree progression. If you want to do that long-term planning, that team is there and knowledgeable about your faculty and your program. So they're the ones that will be engaging with you in that. Typically, they're available in the summer through to the fall term. And then there's also ways that you can kind of review key registration dates at that QR code. So I'm gonna go through to the next slide now that we're running a little short on time. So new student orientation, super, super exciting way for you to get engaged. It does happen before your classes start, and I highly recommend that you keep an eye out for the dates so that you're here on campus and you can engage with that. There's many sessions that are hosted for like things, for example, that you would need to register in. So ways that you can get engaged with orientation is that it's basically like a welcoming you to campus, meeting those first friends, doing different sessions, seminars. There's a great new student barbecue that is on us. You don't pay for that. It's free. And you're able to actually also engage with things like our SU tailgate and kickoff, which is a really fun way for you to see that first varsity athletic sports. Our students at tailgate are going to be gathering at McCahon Stadium, and they're going to be watching the Dinos, like the American football, not soccer, of Dinos football team play another university. This year we played Regina Rams, which was really fun. It's a great way for you to kind of get into the student spirit. For example, like a photo there you're seeing is at kickoff. Some other sessions where you can sign up for, where you can listen to others. For example, this year students were able to listen to a student panel speaking on their experience at UCalgary. They were able to even do this cool session called speed friendling, where basically you would make friends through fun, fast-paced 2-minute convos. So imagine like speed dating, but like meeting friends. So yeah, don't miss orientation. It's really fun. Take note of the dates and make sure to know to register ahead of time, because some of these sessions do fill up. And there is a registration opening in June for that August, usually deadline for when it's happening. So yeah, don't miss out on orientation. Now, you're probably still considering scholarships at this stage. It is really important that you do fill out that scholarship application in your student center. If you have applied, you would have already be considered for automatic awards. Now, March 1st is the deadline for that. If you haven't made an application and you haven't gone through this process, students who are, really exemplary in their academics in high school can win up to $5,000. And that is automatic. You're not going to have to make an application for that. Now, there are high school entrance awards that you do want to apply for, and that deadline is March 1st. In your student center, you do need to make fill in the blank question and answer, typical yes or no questions up until, and then end of April is when students will know how much they can get. A question I often get is it stackable? Can I stack awards? Yes, it's stackable. You are able to do that. But we do try to be equitable in the way that we do distribute scholarships. Now, unfortunately, at the current date, we're on December 10th right now, the Prestige Award deadline has passed. If for any reason you're joining us and you haven't you're in grade 11 and you're thinking of applying next year, that Prestige Award is a big high value dollar award that does need an early application, and students can win up to $25,000 a year. It is going to be a long kind of essay question format. But for anybody who, you're already got your offer and you're thinking, what can I apply for as well? This high school entrance awards is a really big one that I really want you to consider. It's not too big of an application. Now, with your tuition, often students are questions around what is my actual cost. Now, if you have not gone through what's our cost estimator, you are going to want to go to that cost estimator on our website. It does get updated yearly at the end of the year into January. So do take note of the date specifically associated with the fees. But once you do get your letter of acceptance to the university, there is a table in there that will show you what 4 years of tuition is going to be, and that is locked in for you for those 4 years. So you can plan financially, but considering what you need to prepare for money wise, you're going to want 1 year of international student tuition if you're an international student, 1 year of domestic if you're Canadian or permanent resident or refugee. And then you also want to consider books and supplies and living costs as well. When you are applying for that student visa, that study permit, you do want to show that you have enough funds to supply for that first year here at University of Calgary. Now, some of you might be receiving additional help from what's called a third-party sponsor. Now, this would be an organization that is not the University of Calgary. For example, an employer, government agency who would be paying your tuition directly. That is something that happens, and it is allowed. And it is your responsibility to submit a sponsorship letter to us. Now, there are other kind of considerations, but if you have more questions about third-party sponsorship, please make sure to go on our website. You can search that really easily and see the different kind of things to note that you do need to consider. Now, this is different than an external scholarship. An external scholarship is, for example, Government of Canada through Universities Canada has an organization where they can give scholarships or bursaries or different kind of financial supports. That is going to be that you're going to be applying to. We do have lists of external scholarship, like common external scholarship students do engage with as well on our website, but do note that's different than that third-party sponsor. Okay, some key dates that you're wanting to note for 2026. You're going to have applications for residence opening. Fall 2026 admissions application deadline is in March. If you haven't applied yet, we do have a deadline March 15th for that unofficial transcript. At this stage, if you've been given an offer, you have submitted, for the most part, an unofficial transcript. Now, there is a deadline to accept your offer, which is May 1st. And then new students begin registration for first-year courses in early May. June is a deadline for completing all your high school courses, if anything is currently in the process. And then in August, we do require you to submit official transcript, is that final hard copy to the university admissions team so they can verify everything that you've submitted thus far. And that we do have other webinars that we do recommend that you attend. So thank you so much for coming to this one. But these are some other dates. You're welcome to take a quick screen grab of this also. So please take note. Attend other things. It's a great way for you to get excited about coming to campus, but also really knowledge is power at this stage, and information and knowing all the different ways that you can engage with the university. So you're getting the most out of your experience. And we're really kind of excited for you to take part and be a part of that with us. I'm going to leave here the email for the Africa recruiter, which is me, africa.recruiter@UCalgary. You can reach out to our office specifically as well through WhatsApp. That's that phone number there, ending in 3722. We have a podcast, Instagram, Facebook, etc. You can definitely engage with all those social media aspects. If you have further questions and want to book meetings, but if you have any questions around like admissions, let's say you haven't gotten that offer yet, our admissions team is the great team to reach out to at admissions@ucalgary.ca. But again, if you don't want to remember that, you can just email us and we'll forward you along. And I'm going to open up to questions now. If you guys have any questions, I'll end my slideshow sharing at the moment, and then we'll go to that stage.